Hi, Carol. Can you hear me? Oh, she's connecting. Hi, Carol. Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. Yay.
Hey,
I was
we're off to a start.
getting anxious. Nobody had logged on yet. Hi, Ken. Can you hear me? Not yet. Hi, Ken. Can you hear me yet? I can't hear you. You need to unmute.
I need to unmute it. Oh,
There you go. I can hear you now.
got it?
Yep. You got me?
Hear me now? Yeah,
Good. Your picture's a lot clearer this time, Ken.
I'm working with the lighting, get better at this.
You got a lighting tech? That's a good thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Hi.
Hi, Angela. So we got 3, 2 more to go. I guess you can all see each other, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hi, Bob. Can you hear me yet? Oh, there you go, Bob.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. And I can see part of you. There you are.
Sorry.
So we're waiting on Tracy.
Okay.
There she is. Tracy? Oh,
Yep, I'm here.
oh, great. Okay, so if you guys would like to start, that'd be great. Mara is not here, so you're stuck with me. And Will is with us, so I know you guys probably got a memo that if you need to ask code type questions, that you feel free to ask Will. He's right here. So here we go.
Good. Sounds good. I guess to begin our work session, we have a number of pre-approvals. So I guess when we get to those, everyone's got a copy of what Mara and Kelly sent. So we'll move on through those to 725 Tuxedo. I think there was some discussion.
I had one question on 803 Clark, which is a pre-approval.
Yeah.
It said to the updated plan submitted 9/14/2020. I pulled that up against the original plans. What was the difference? I mean, I don't have any problem with that. I couldn't find any difference between.
I am not aware that that was something Mara,
Okay.
facilitated between.
I was
architect.
curious, it's like I'm looking at the email and I'm looking at the original drawing and I couldn't discern any difference, so I'm cool with it. No big deal.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Sorry.
Okay.
You know what, looking back at my email, I did have a question about that one, just because there's a keynote that was cut off. And Mara responded to my comments with an updated drawing sheet. And I think it was just like, the keynote was just saying that the column is an 8x8 column
Oh,
with cap and base is shown on the elevation. So it looks
Yeah.
like the elevation sheet was resubmitted,
okay, that's fine.
but probably no drawing changes, just more of like notes and things like that
Yeah, I
clarified.
see it. I'm looking at them now and I think that's right. Notes 7 and 8 were cut off.
Yeah.
So in the resubmittal, those are shown now.
Fair enough. Move on.
Okay, 725 Tuxedo. Anybody?
I had a question. The west elevation on the second floor of the new addition shows a window on the floor plan, but there's not a window shown on the elevation or on the rendering. And I was wondering whether or not this window is actually in the project. And then also along the same lines, I think that elevation could be helped by some additional relief to the long expanses of siding, either some other architectural element or another window.
Yeah, maybe in that laundry room on the second floor.
Yeah, that looked like a good opportunity.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. The laundry room and then that, and like you said, there's the one window shows up on the elevation, but
It's not on the plan.
I don't know where that is, but they could add a window in where the toilet is in the master bathroom. They could. They don't want, as an option. It almost seemed like that's where that window is, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I tried to put a scale on it and it looks like it's kind of betwixt in between. That was why I was,
Oh, it is.
yeah, wondering what the intent actually is there.
I had a question on the garage. If we look at the elevation, the garage south, which is the front with the garage doors, I think it might be just a graphic thing, but the roof ridge over the further southmost door doesn't look to be centered over the door. It just looks like it's slightly off. And then I was curious if the garage doors are actually the wood that's shown on the renderings, if it's going to be solid wood. And then I was also looking at that band board up top and it just feels out of proportion to me, but I guess we could talk about that.
Yeah, I feel like the way it's drawn there, you wouldn't see that band board. If the eave is really, the overhang is that large, you wouldn't see the band board in the elevation, right? It's something about the way it's drawn. And I think you're right, Tracy. It looks like the eave on the left side that's kind of in the middle is larger. The overhang is larger than on the whole thing's sort of shifted off.
You would see that band board if there's a heel on the truss.
If it's what?
If there's a heel on the truss, you would see that band board. I don't know how I don't have a truss profile, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
As far as that window on the west goes, I'm sure I will just verify, but I would think they're putting it. I don't care which room they put it in, as long as they put it in a room. All the time in the laundry room, then you're doing a wall closet, so. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, I had the same comment on the window. I also asked if they considered one in the kitchen or not. But those were my comments. All right, anything else on this one? If not, we'll move to the next one, which is 443 Oak.
I have a couple of questions. What is the proposed finish on the exposed foundation walls? It looks like the existing photos show a stucco, but the drawings almost look like there's some sort of exposed concrete block or something similar shown, and I would just wanted to clarify what the intent was there. And then also on the left elevation, there's a window, a basement window that appears to be below the porch deck, the new porch deck. And when I look at the plan, that is an existing basement bedroom. So I was wondering, you know, if there needs to be some clarification about the status of that window.
I had a comment on the front elevation, the front gable. It seems like all the other gables have 3 brackets, and I wondered if we wanted to add 2 onto the columns on the front instead of just having 1 in the center. And it seems like that beam that goes across the front could be brought in a little bit from the edge of the roof line.
Yeah, I had made a similar comment on that ridge, or I'm sorry, on the eave. I wasn't sure if that was drawn right or not, because it seems like typically the eave would either extend, but then I realized that that's probably at the same height of the rest. So seems kind of an interesting detail. I'm not sure that's how you would construct that. I don't see how you would construct it like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if they're replacing the whole roof for the porch then, or not? Or, you know, is it?
Oh, yeah.
Because it's sort of the same, but not quite.
Right. It's an existing roof.
And I was just wondering if that's graphic thing or. And then the columns at the porch are obvious. I mean, I think they're bigger, right? It's wider, or I don't know. I can't really tell for sure. I'm pretty sure it's wider, but I don't. I was also wondering, it says board and batten siding, but it really shows vertical siding. It doesn't, it's not actually board and batten shown. I was just curious which one it's going to be. And also if the front door is just an existing door or a new door, or what it's going to look like.
Yeah, I also had a comment based on the corbels as I was making my way from the front elevation around the house. I saw them on the left, but not on the right in the back. And I wondered, you know, would you put them on all four sides or just on the front? I'm not sure why you would just put one on the left, not on the right or the rear. And a little bit to the question about the siding, if that's it's drawn as vertical siding. If it's board and batten, it's still the same question. I just wondered at that vertical height as you move around, you know, on the left to the rear and then on the right-hand side, you know, if there's some sort of seam there or if they considered maybe a band board. I'm not saying it's, you know, I think it needs one. I'm just wondering because typically that material would change. So I don't know how you would do that. And that was one thought I had. Is it just a question?
Yeah, I was wondering in particular at the whether that band board be in the middle or wherever, but in particular at the bottom. Is that what you mean? Between at the base of the building, if you have, especially board and batten, it has a irregular edge.
Yeah.
So it seems like usually you put something there, some trim there to finish it off.
Yeah. Well, I was, in addition, I had made the comment in addition to the base, I was wondering you might consider that the second floor. I'm just not sure. I guess that's not.
Can you repeat?
Oh, I was just saying, in addition to what Angela's saying at the base, you know, between the basement and the first floor, I was wondering if they considered one at the second floor, kind of at the eave line. To me, when I was looking at it, it was a question, and it kind of goes in the hand of what kind of siding that really is. So.
Yeah, I get it. You know, you look at the pictures of the original house and it doesn't have the brackets on it. It looks fine. If you didn't want to do the brackets, I wouldn't have any problem with that. But that's their call.
And this is just an aside. As far as in the rear, we have living space that's supported on posts and concrete piers. And I do see a note that that's going to be reviewed by a structural engineer. Maybe a word to the applicants to have that looked at sooner rather than later. I've had a couple of clients who wanted to put living space on posts like that. And once they got the structural input and then the construction cost input, they changed their minds. It was much more efficient and cost effective to just go ahead and transfer the load down to a spread footing and just enclose that space. I could see where they'd want to maintain their walkouts there. I get that, but just kind of a heads up that if they haven't talked to an engineer yet, they might want to do that fairly soon.
The space you're referring to is the great room, I take it.
Yeah, that great room extension that's supported on posts.
Okay.
All right, any other discussion on 443 Oak? Move along then to 741 Atlanta, covered detached deck. Is there any comments on this one?
Yeah, I think we need more information about what the actual finished product is going to look like. You know, what the finishes are going to be, the actual relationship of the deck to the grade, where those steps are, where the railing is. And then also it looks like on the site plan, there's a hip roof sketched, but the plans show a gable. And if we do have a gable roof, are those ends closed off, the gable ends? Are they exposed framing? I mean, they're just a lot of information here that I feel is missing to judge the final appearance of the project.
Yeah, you hit all my notes that I had on this one too.
Yeah. That was my main thing, just the general kind of missing information. Hard to say.
Yes, it's like 16 inches out of ground. It's not going to have a railing.
Well, perhaps they're intending a railing at the stairs or something, because there is a rail detail shown in selection. And then also too, perhaps some oversight about the submittal that was made, because there's also house to deck connections and the house isn't connected to the deck. So I think there's a lot of clarification that needs to take place.
Right. Nothing else on that? 12 minutes to go.
So for all of the submitters, the applicants who are waiting online, we have completed our pre-work session. We do have about 10 minutes before the official meeting starts at 5:30. So we thank you very much for being patient with our process, and we'll be back with you at 5:30. Thank you.
I did have one comment on the meeting minutes, if we are looking at those.
Yeah.
On 719 Fairview from last meeting, I had voted against, and it's noted as unanimous.
Okay, we'll address that in the meeting and
Yeah.
get it corrected. Thanks, though.
Yep.
Now the equivalent to when my kids are zooming at school and they take a break, right? So what do you do? Stare at your phone? Do homework? Walk around the house?
So let's see, Angela, you have kids at home? Zooming to school too?
Yeah, my daughter's home. So then we'll have two boys. I guess after Thanksgiving, most kids are going to stay home from college after that. So
Yeah.
we get two more people at Thanksgiving, but right now just one, not so bad. She's taking a baking class, so that's almost kind of not so bad. All the baking is done right here in our own kitchen, and I get the food.
I think Brent has that same class.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Or a class like it. She's
a foods class of some sort. Yeah,
yeah.
it's kind of handy to do that at home.
Yeah.
You got your own space.
Probably should make you aware the whole meeting is being recorded, so
Okay.
think about what you share.
That's what we do at City Hall when we have a break. We talk
Yep.
about.
Exactly. No different.
Project update, I did finish demolishing my deck.
Nice.
Yes.
Good job.
Yeah, it
That was
was
a lot of work.
It was a great workout and interesting YouTube video. You can actually use an old-fashioned farm jack. I bought a tractor jack to jack the piers out of the ground. It was, I don't like to dig. And so you just wait for a really big rain when it's really nice and muddy and put a bearing plate under the jack and go for it. It was,
Wow, that's pretty impressive that you did all that.
yeah, well,
Yeah, isn't
yeah.
it?
I
It is
had
great.
a coach. Thank you, but I'm really glad it's all done. All the debris is gone. I now own a sledgehammer used for smashing concrete. I am not good at that, but if you're persistent, you get it done.
So are you going back in with the new deck?
I would love to expand my back porch instead of
Okay.
having a deck,
Yeah.
but if it turns out to be cost prohibitive, I'll probably just do a patio of some sort or another.
Mhm.
But I've got, I'm working on some refinishing work on the porch that I want to get done before winter. So the patio and or porch may be a next year thing.
Yeah.
Wait until spring, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And give me some recovery time.
Yeah, no kidding.
I know these are long dead air minutes, but again, thank you for being patient. We'll get to it in about 4 minutes.
email I sent from Jim Mills regarding Hawkins Heights.
Okay, Bob, we're close enough. Why don't you lead us on in to the meeting?
Okay,
Here we go.
ready to go. All right. Welcome everyone that's online that's been patient. We finished our work session. So now the official meeting is beginning. So on our Zoom tonight, we have Kelly Campbell and Will Penny with the city. And for our ARB members, Carol Dunkey, Ken Burns, Tracy Collins, Angela Thompson, and I'm Bob Buckman, volunteer architects on the board. First item is review of meeting minutes from our September 3rd Zoom. And I think there was a correction.
Just one comment on 719 Fairview. It was 4 members approved and 1 disapproved.
Okay, we'll get that changed.
All right. With that, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes with the correction noted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Did I hear everybody?
That was an aye. I think
Oh.
the reason.
Okay, I think 3 people said it at once and then, okay, so we're good there. And anyone opposed? All right, those are approved as amended. Next on our list, we have pre-approvals. So we're gonna read through those one at a time and vote. Do I have a motion on 741 landscape?
I'll make a motion to approve 741 landscape as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? 741 landscape is approved. Next, we got 803 Clark. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve 803 Clark according to the updated plan submitted on September 14th.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? All right, that's approved. 608 Bacon. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve 608 Bacon as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? 608 Bacon is approved. Next is 652 Fieldstone Terrace. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve 652 Fieldstone Terrace as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Approved. Next, we have 649 Hearth Green.
Make
Aye.
a motion to approve 649 Hearst Green as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Right, so that is approved. Next, we have 725 Tuxedo, which we are going to review. At this point, Kelly, is there someone online that's going to join us?
Should be, raise your hand. Looks like I have a Patrick Knobloch and Jake Pressler. So give me a moment to get them in. Can you both hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Look, Patrick and Jake, yeah, it looks like I've got audio on both of you.
Perfect.
Great.
Welcome, Patrick and Jake. I think there were a few questions from board members, so I'll just start with Carol. You had some questions.
Yeah, on the west elevation at the new addition, there's a window shown on the second floor that doesn't appear on the plan or the rendering. So could you please clarify if that window is in the project and what the location is?
Yes, I apologize for that. It is in the plan. That was a graphical mistake. If I can share a screen, I can show you exactly where it is, but it's actually in the toilet room of the master bath.
Okay, and is it the size that is shown on the elevation?
It is. It is the same window size as is existing further south on that same elevation.
Okay, okay. And then I think one of the comments I had and a few of the other board members had was about introducing some additional window or windows or other architectural elements to break up some of the long expanses of siding. Perhaps a window could be put in the laundry or in the kitchen, or you know, on the opposite side you have a nice kind of box bay. So you know, I think that could benefit that side a great deal, because we do have an awful lot of blank siding.
I just want to kind of go on record here. I'm perfectly comfortable with just a single window on the second floor. And I think trying to put a window in that kitchen is going to screw up the kitchen. So I don't have a problem with that elevation, with the clarification of the window in the bathroom.
Sure. So we did consider a window along that elevation on the first floor. The issue with that is, I think, Ken, what you're kind of alluding to is we're including a whole wall of cabinets basically along that back wall. You can see there's an island kind of centrally located. The client's intention for this renovation, the primary reason is to, you know, obviously in these older homes in Webster, there's smaller kitchens, there's not a lot of storage. So the primary reason for the addition is on the first floor is a kitchen that functions for their needs. And so the introduction of a window or two windows, perhaps in that area, eliminates any of their top cabinets. I don't know if I can share a screen. I have a rendering that could help illustrate that. Is that possible?
I really don't know. It's not something we've incorporated into the Zoom meetings at this point. So I have a share screen icon, but I would be hesitant to use it not having done so already.
Okay.
I think
Okay,
we understand what you're explaining, though. What about on the second floor? Is there an opportunity in the laundry or maybe the toilet room or the master bath?
So the toilet room, I'm sorry, that's deceptive. The plan unfortunately doesn't realistically show the window that we included in the toilet room. It is shown on the elevation.
Okay.
There's a potential that we could add a window to the laundry room. However, then you kind of have two windows on the left or the north, and then one on the south. And we thought that there was a nice balance that was happening with the single window to the south and to the north. So that's kind of why we ended up with that elevation. So, I mean, you guys understand it's kind of a, you know, it's a balance between form and function. And while, like, you know, you guys saw it as well. We looked at that, considered it, but ultimately the priority of the functional importance was higher in that elevation. And I would also say that, you know, that elevation might look bare on that corner. However, you know, we don't really experience buildings in full elevation. You kind of see it in perspective. So we felt like in that corner, there's quite a bit of architectural interest, especially on the north.
Okay, Angela or Tracy, anything? Comments?
Yeah, I had a comment on the garage. If I'm looking at the elevation of the garage at the south, it almost looks like that frontmost door, the roof over that, the ridge line of the roof, looks like it might be slightly off center.
Yeah, that's a good catch too on your part. That's a graphical mistake. The intention is to have it centered.
Okay. And then the doors, are they going to be the wood, solid wood as shown? The
So
garage doors?
the owner is actually interested in doing kind of a craftsman style carriage kind of door look. It has a band of windows above. Again, I have an image, but I am not able to share it, I guess. They have selected something, or at least a design intent, that does have a wood finish, like a faux wood finish on an aluminum door, with some architectural interest in like several windows on the top half. So we can send that along as kind of a follow-up.
Yeah, it sounds like the windows would be nice to get some extra light in there because you don't have any windows on the garage.
And just to verify, the personnel door, that is a glass light, is that correct?
Correct.
Anything else from Tracy?
Yeah, I guess one question I just wanted to ask you about was the band board at the top of the garage. It looks like it's pretty chunky up there. I didn't know if you knew what size that might actually be. Is it kind of depicted correctly in the renderings?
Yeah, we're showing it at a 12-inch, but we're certainly willing to minimize that, you know, bring it down to like a 6 or an 8.
Seems like Patrick, and looking at the front of the house, you know, that beam depth that's around the porch might be the same. You know, if you match that, it would look, I'm not sure what it is, but it looks like it's not quite as deep as what you have rendered on the garage. Just a thought.
Yeah, no, that's a great great point. We can match that proportion.
So one thing I just want to verify, I think I know the answer, but your windows in the drawn elevations, you show the windows with the trim around them a little differently than what they are in reality. And then you have a typical window detail on the rendering page that's a little different than that. And that is what it's going to look like, the typical window detail. It's not going to look like the way it's drawn graphically. The windows won't have like that picture frame around them. They'll have the traditional sill and apron like they do right now.
Correct. The intention is to match the existing windows.
Okay, that's what I thought. Thank you.
Anything else from board members? I did a comment on the west. I'm glad that window is on the floor. I do see what you're trying to pull off. So the fact that there's at least a window in the basement, I think kind of helps. Personally, I would add some, but I don't think it's, a necessary thing in my opinion for this project. So, I don't have anything else. And I guess at this point, no other comment or coming from the board.
Actually, I have one more thing. The base of the building, the new addition, the foundation, will that just match? I'm trying to find on here. I don't know what the foundation of the house looks like right now, but will the foundation of the new part match the old part? Oh, it looks maybe.
The new foundation would be a poured concrete foundation. The existing foundation is kind of it's painted white at the moment. It's actually a block foundation, but it's kind of got a skim coat on it, so it looks monolithic. And so the intention would be to paint the new foundation to match the existing, even though it's going to be poured in place concrete. I believe it will render the same visually.
Just one more thing. The chimney that you're going to be removing, you're just going to replace it in kind. Is that right?
Actually, no. The chimney that we're removing is on the north side. And so that removal is critical to connect the old home to the new addition on the interior. That chimney is being removed altogether.
Okay.
It's actually leaning quite a bit. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, I do see that.
So the owners had some concern about that for quite some time. And so there's still a chimney that's a remnant of likely a coal furnace that will remain. That is exposed brick. It's kind of on the west side of the home. But the one that you can see that we noted to demo, it's not being replaced.
Okay.
All right, so I understand you're putting windows in the garage door, and you're gonna have the trim match the front porch depth proportion on the garage. Will match the front porch of the house. Anything else, board members? Otherwise, okay. With that, then.
That window is in the project in the master bath.
Right.
As shown on the elevation.
Correct.
That, do I have a motion on 725 Tuxedo?
I make a motion to approve this contingent on the garage doors having windows and being a carriage house style, and that the upper trim around the garage replicates the beam depth of the front porch existing beam.
And a note on the window, just as part of the motion.
Just with the clarification, the window on the elevation is in the project and does serve the water closet.
Right. Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
I'm opposed. It's too much siding on the west for me.
All right, so that's 4-1, you're approved. Thanks for your time, Patrick and Jake.
Thank you all.
All right, we're gonna move on to 443 Oak Street.
So anyone for 443 Oak, please raise your hand. So I have Matt James, is that all? No one else? Wait a minute.
I'm here.
For some reason I have a Nick. Nick, are you for this project too?
Yes, I'm the partner general contractor on the job.
Great, thank you very much.
Okay, welcome Nick and Matt.
I'm here as well. I'm Liz James,
Oh,
also homeowner.
And Liz, welcome.
Picture up on our site.
Yeah, so the one question I had, are you guys keeping that existing roof on the front of the house and just re-shingling it, or is that
Yeah, so we actually just had that roof replaced, and so we're re-shingling the rest of the house in the same shingle.
Okay. I know there was a question because it wasn't, when we see the rendering, it looks all new, but then trying to figure out what's new and what's old.
Yeah, we just had it replaced after a storm maybe a year ago, so
Okay.
we just chose the same shingling to do the rest of it.
The other question I'm just starting with a few that I have. You show brackets on the front of the house, which I think look great. Are those composite or wood, or what are you guys thinking?
They're composite, and we did get that question from you all, and we talked to our architect about it. So he just added it to the rest of the render. So it's on all of the gables now, matching.
Oh. Okay, well, that was a question because it was on one side and in the front,
Yeah.
but not on the other. So
Yeah, we saw that question in advance, and so we've already addressed it with our drawings and everything.
Will
Okay.
you be adding to those brackets at the front as well? Got one in the center now on these drawings that we're looking at.
Okay, so we have brackets at the posts and also on the sides of the larger gable.
Okay.
So that front porch is existing, correct?
It is, but we're going to construct the whole porch matching over that. There's room to do it, so it's all going to be wood in the end.
The reason I ask is because the way those posts are, you're trying to do 3 brackets on that front porch, and those brackets are going to come down on the columns. So I think just a single bracket, actually the house would look fine without any brackets, but
Yeah.
I think the single bracket is a better solution than 3 brackets on that front porch.
Okay. Yeah, now
So-
that you say that, I kind of agree.
So the front porch that's there, like the posts, are those going to remain there, or are there going to be new posts that look like the drawing?
Yeah, they're all going to be consistent. I don't know if we'll reuse them and rewrap them, but we want the same posts across the whole porch and on the side.
And what will those look like?
They'll look like wrapped cedar, like in the drawing. Although we considered doing white, we're kind of back and forth on it, but
I guess I'm not sure. When you say wrapped cedar, what exactly do you mean by that? Sorry.
Cedar wrap posts, so just 4 planks of cedar around the post.
around to make it like it, so it's a 4x4 post with cedar around it,
Yeah.
just plain cedar. I don't know how else to say that. There's not like a base trim or a top trim or anything like that.
Yeah, I think just plain.
I had one question about the siding.
Yeah.
It says that it's board and batten siding, but the drawings show vertical siding.
It is board and batten. So I talked to my architect about that, and he just said it's not possible to perfectly render it, but it is board and batten on.
Okay.
It's board and batten siding on the whole house. He just, the way he represented it, I guess he didn't have a tool to make it look more.
Board and batten-y.
Okay. And then are you keeping the front door or?
Yes.
Okay.
I had a question on that front beam. It looks like it goes all the way to the edge of the roof line, and I'm wondering if we need to bring that in a little bit.
The horizontal beam on the.
Yeah, on the very front.
Okay. Let's see, because I have notes on all the questions that came up. I think our architect did actually go back in and just make it a little bit more narrow in our drawing in response to that question.
Currently, in other words, the way the picture shows the existing porch is the way it's going to end up looking, right?
You mean in the
front porch? Yeah, you're not tearing the front porch off and rebuilding. You're using it.
We're not, but it will be all matching wood over the top of it. Yeah.
But unlike the rendering shows that beam projecting out, that's not the case in reality. So, okay.
Yeah, so your existing front has a horizontal siding, or I don't know if that's horizontal or shake, but it's infilled. The rendering makes it appear like it's open, but maybe that's not the case. It is siding now that I look at it. I see.
Columns are also much farther apart on the drawing of the front elevation than they are now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I can see what you mean, going back to comparing it to a picture of our house.
Yeah,
as it is now. But I think the way that in response to that question, I think he brought those a little closer together on the drawing that we did prepare to be able to show, but I guess we can't do that, so.
I see. Yeah, the whole proportion of that is going to be different.
Yeah, it really is.
Exactly what it is, not what the rendering looks like at all.
No, it's not drawn right.
Okay.
You know, I have one question, and this is really, it looks to me like you don't have, are the second floor bedroom windows big enough? They don't look big enough for egress. I don't know if anyone else thinks that. I don't know what size they are exactly, but they look a little small to be egress windows.
Yeah, they do look a bit small.
Yeah, I had that. I mean, when I was initially reviewing it on the right and left side on the upstairs, they did look small, but I don't know what size they are. So
yeah, I don't know what to say about that. But then so then you would, I guess if they all need to change, you have the same size window all over the place.
Meaning, if they became the same size as downstairs, you think that would look off? Is that what you're saying?
No, oh no, not at all. I think that if they were the same size as downstairs, that would be kind of nice. But I'm just saying, more to meet the code, you need a certain size.
Right. No, I understand.
You probably have to be a casement window to meet code, just
Yeah.
by the
I feel like they probably are, just because our architect did a good amount of research into various code elements, but I can't speak to the specific size of it. So I'm looking here. It says Anderson 400 double hung Craftsman windows or similar, but that's all. To closely match existing, but that's just in style there.
Yeah,
That'll show up in the plan review. If
Yeah.
it's not egress, you're not gonna get a permit, so.
Right.
yeah, and to me, it's a little bit more like to what Angela was saying, though. I think they look small in most of the upstairs rooms, and I think they don't. I think they would relate better to the house if they were proportionally the same as the lower level.
Okay.
And to me, I'm not, you know, it's some variation within there. Like I look on the back elevation, and I see you've got 2 double hungs, you know, on the first floor, and then on the second floor you got 3 smaller ones. And I just wonder why not do 2 double hungs there that are the same as the first. Not knowing again what actual size those are, but visually it does look a little. They look a little off, and and I can trace that window size all the way around the left and right side and say, I wonder if they're all. I mean, in my thought is that maybe it's not all of them, but maybe there's some of them that you look at, not knowing whether they're the correct size or not. If they're double hung, to Ken's point, they're not going to be egress the way they're drawn, for sure, unless they're. So they'd have to be casement.
I'll definitely check that with Matt, our architect.
Okay. Yeah, it's something to consider.
Matt's here, isn't he?
No, that's Nick.
Yeah.
Who said Matt James?
Our architect is also named Matt. I'm
Matt-
the homeowner.
Okay. I got it. Okay.
I had also made a comment, you know, this was just me wondering, not really knowing what the siding was, but I had made the comment about a band board at the base.
Yeah, we addressed that as well. So he drew it again for us with a band board at the bottom of the siding before it meets the stucco, which is remaining stucco. And then also a band board around the, the center of the house, basically.
Between the first and
The second floor level?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, is your new addition foundation, is that going to be finished with stucco as well?
we're not having any new foundation. The foundation is going to stay the same.
Okay, I was just looking at the render, or excuse me, your drawings. It almost appears like it looks like a concrete block in your drawing.
Yeah, that was the previous drawing. We had that updated as well.
Okay, so it is shown that the entire foundation that's exposed to view will be finished with stucco?
Yeah, it'll
Yes.
stay the same.
Sorry to return to the regarding the windows and egress. If what you think that the double hung would not pass as egress, even though they're attempting to keep up the aesthetic with the 3 panes above with the lower pane and the those double hungs, what would you say if you were to move to a casement and losing the aesthetic of the window, the 3 above 1 windows in the double hung? I guess they just have to find a double hung that would fall within egress. I mean, what would be more important for you, to have the aesthetic or to, have that casement?
You could even have a casement window made with that pattern.
With that pattern in it?
If you did casements, you could do, you could replicate that pattern. If you can get 3050
Right.
code compliant double hung windows, that's going to be the easiest, best thing to do.
So, I mean, if that's
You don't actually have a choice but to provide
Right.
an egress window. That's not
Exactly.
a choice.
Right, not a choice. Sorry, I did
Yeah.
say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if my point being is that if we were to just agree that they were going to end up having egress in all the bedrooms, but just it'd be important to keep up the aesthetic of what the architect has illustrated. So their casements would have that 3 above 1 look.
True.
Yeah, okay.
And while we're on the subject of egress windows, I was interested in some clarification about this existing basement bedroom window that appears to be below your new porch. Could you clarify what the intention is there?
Yes, so essentially we are going to lose that as a bedroom and it's just going to convert to like a storage room for us.
Okay, and then are you going to infill the window? Or are you going to open below the porch?
Our hope is not to have to infill the window.
Okay.
So
I guess maybe perhaps Will can weigh in on what the code compliance would be. Would they just need to convert that officially a bedroom to a storage room? Would they have to remove the closet, or how would that work, Will?
Typically, that would be up to Travis, our building commissioner, but typically, what I'm familiar with, we would make them remove that closet so it wouldn't be a bedroom.
We have 2 closets in that room. Interesting. Okay.
Those are existing bedrooms, right? Okay.
I mean, yes, there's 2 bedrooms in the basement with egress and closets.
So the 2 existing bedrooms in the basement have egress dimensional windows?
Correct.
Okay.
But the one in the existing bedroom is shown as opening below the porch. I don't know how you would climb out of a window below the porch in an emergency.
Well, you wouldn't, because we wouldn't consider it a bedroom, but
Yeah,
I mean, we can't have a closet in a room that's not considered a bedroom, even if it's.
that would be a code compliance issue for Travis and for Will, but in my experience, typically in order for it to not be considered a bedroom, they do require alterations, and as Will stated before, that may include removing the closets.
Could that be as simple as like removing doors and having open storage, or?
That would be an ARB type issue. That would be a conversation you would need to have with the building commissioner and
Okay.
reviewer. But I'm just trying to clarify what's going on there, because it is kind of an unusual condition to have.
Well, we thought that too, because we wanted to keep the light. My hope was to sort of build I've seen where you can build sort of a rectangle around that space so you can still see down and have either plexiglass or a grate over it, just so you get a little bit of light in a room. It just seems more functional that way, but we'll do whatever we need to do to make sure that it's code compliant.
Yeah, because you're not going to get much light in there if it's under the porch floor.
Right. Which is why we sort of had in mind that we could have sort of a mirrored rectangle in front of it with something over the top to continue to allow light. I mean, I don't want to have an ugly room with, a view of underneath the porch, of course.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a conversation y'all have to have with the building department.
Sure.
yeah, it'll be dark at that window. If it's just like it is, it'll be dark. There won't really be much light there. It's just not possible. So you might want to.
And also too, were you all here? Did you listen to the work session?
We did.
Okay. I don't know if you've had a chance to talk with your structural engineer or not about what's going to be required to carry your living space on the posts in the?
Yes, we have. We've had him involved since the start of that design, and we've actually recently modified to one single steel post on the right side, so that's in line with the rest of the building. And then they'd have 2 horizontal steel beams. My contractor sent me, they're going to use 2 steel beams running into the corner of the house and the rest in a beam pocket.
They would be pocketed up inside the joists, so as not to see those beam members, that they would be pocketed within those joist cavities of that build out.
So you're going to do recessed steel beams?
Correct.
And then support that part of the addition on just one post, one steel post?
Yes, that's what we're going to do, or we'd like to do, yes.
And we've had an engineer in on the design of that plan, so
Okay.
considered that and brought him in from the start of it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. And I can understand where you'd want to maintain your walkouts, but you know, it's your choice. That seems like a kind of a costly item to recess those beams. But you know, that's if
you could
make it work.
Another thing that we brought was photos of that back area. So there's stairs there on the side that lead up to the side. And in our design plan, something that we really wanted to accentuate was use of the outdoor space. You know, on one side we have this shared driveway, but then we have this side yard. And without the stairs right there leading up to where this new porch is going to be along the side, we would be walking to the very end of our lot and a half to get up and around the side. So we wanted to keep this patio that we love and use and sort of turn it into like a little outdoor room with beadboard on the ceiling and just keep the flow that we have. And we certainly have no use for an enclosed space down in the basement. Our goal is just to get everybody upstairs on the new second floor and kind of use that ongoing as entertaining space.
Sure. I understand your desire to keep the outdoor space. I'm an outdoor person myself. I just wanted to kind of give you the heads up because as I noted earlier, I've had a couple of projects where people desired to have living space up on posts and they opted to not go to the very expensive means that would be required to have that meet.
Yeah.
So I just trying to give you a heads up there.
Well, thank you. You know, we're considering it and have done some preliminary pricing, and so far it seems within budget, and it feels important. So we're working ahead with this plan in hopes to keep it the way it is.
This is just a comment so you don't overlook it, but depending on the dimensional issues with the triple window along that stair, one or more of those might need to be tempered glass, but that's something you work with the building department as well.
Okay. Yeah.
That's not our call. That's
Okay.
Okay, so Matt and Liz and Nick, I think at this point we don't have all the updated stuff, but we've talked through a lot of this with you. It sounds like you guys are making changes. I guess we would ask that they're resubmitted and probably just table a vote because I can't really. It's a lot of changes that we don't actually have in front of us, unfortunately. But one of the things I think on the windows, you know, when you look into that with your architect, there might be some options there. So I think there's a little bit more on your all's part to do there. My suggestion would be is that we table the vote and have you guys finish up. You know, if you haven't addressed all of the questions, make sure they get addressed and then just resubmit it.
If we were able to share a screen with you, we could show you a lot of the updates that we've made.
Yeah.
But if that's not possible.
Right. Unfortunately, I don't think it is.
I'm cool with tabling it too, just because I think they may discover that they do want to do a 3050 egress window in those bedrooms, and
Yeah.
And
I'm
also,
just curious why, and this is a personal choice, I'm just curious, because it's kind of a pretty little sided house now. Why did you decide to go vertical?
Well, cost. What we have right now is aluminum siding, and the cost to paint that, and then just do board and batten above, or do something. If we did a vinyl, it would have a rounded edge, so you'd probably notice the difference. So we considered that. If we just did board and batten, the cost to paint it was actually more than putting vinyl lower maintenance siding on. And then we have the future expense of painting it again. So.
Okay. Is this wood siding or is this a composite material that you're proposing?
The board and batten is vinyl board and batten.
Oh, okay.
Did you think about breaking it up a little and have, you know, some of it horizontal and some of it board and batten?
We did with the
vinyl siding.
With the paint. Yeah, we did with the painting plan, but then when we switched to vinyl, we just went for an all vertical, you know, an all hardy look.
So it's hardy board, it's not vinyl.
I'm sorry, I'm board and batten.
Yeah. Okay.
And it confused me, but it's all board and batten and it's vinyl. And
Yeah,
it's board
it's
and
not
batten in shape. I'm sorry?
It's not hardy board then.
No, it's not. We originally considered hardy, and my husband just mentioned something about it, which is what confused me. But
Okay. So I guess I'm in agreement to table it, let them clean it up and bring the plans in 2 weeks.
And so for clarification, cleaning up is really just showing the resizing of the windows visually in the plans so they're more appropriate and indicate that they're true egress. That's really what you want to see primarily.
Well, I mean, we can go through the list, but
Yeah.
you know, you said you've already made some of the changes that we sent, is what you said at the beginning. So I think maybe it sounded like to me what's left is working through the windows on the second floor and making those decisions, and then showing them graphically correct. You know, and I'd like to see what the front porch really looks like in proportion. So I think all of those things are important. And I, you know, if you do that, you know, and get it back into the study, we can, you know, vote on it. Have any issue?
I agree that front porch needs a closer look. If the intent is indeed to keep the existing porch, what I'm seeing on the photographs and what's reflected on the drawings doesn't really appear that the two match in size. So you might want to take a little closer look at that.
Yeah, there's a few graphic things that would be nice to clean up just so that we know what it does look like. So, and even you're like the brackets, you know, when they're shown from the side, they stick out farther than your eave. I don't know if that's what you really want or if that's what they're going to look like, but you know, that's what we're judging here or what we're looking at to see how it looks. So to know what those things look like would be good. If your doors are really going to be just flush doors, it would be good to know that, or are they going to have a style to them? And just so some of those things, clean it up a little bit. To actually draw a board and batten is done all the time. So it would be nice for it to actually look like board and batten as well.
Can you go back to the doors for a moment? You said just flush doors.
Well, oh, I'm sorry. They're just, so in the drawing, all the doors are just shown plain, just with no anything, no, you know, like your front door doesn't look like the door that's drawn in the drawing. It is actually a nice door that has some lights in it and some windows and some detail to it. And so you don't have to draw, you know, all the detail doesn't have to be there maybe for something that's existing, but the doors that you're going to be adding, are there going to be windows in the doors? Are there going to be paneled doors? stuff like that.
Yeah, so we didn't actually talk about that, but it was in your list of questions. But the doors on the side for the porch are going to be full light glass doors on the side. And then the original one, which matches our windows, it has the 3 panels. And what I'm looking at, that is shown, but I don't know if that was adjusted. Yeah, the front door does look the same. It has the 3 panels at the top, and then it should be the same as what you have, and that is our front door. And then the side doors will just be a full light glass to match our back doors, which will have no mullions and just be and match, you know, the windows are going to be black, so it'll match that.
Those would all be good clarifications to
Yeah, of course.
the middle. You might just want to note up some things about, in addition to just showing it graphically, include some notes about some of the things that were discussed. I think that would be.
Yeah, I mean, my architect has done that. It's just that I can't share it to you, so.
We'll see it in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, well, thanks.
This is Kelly with the city. If you get me the revisions by Tuesday, end of day, then that will work well to get you on to the next meeting.
Okay, thanks, Kelly.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Last one. I've shuffled my papers around. I don't know where I'm at. 741 at Atlanta. Is there someone online to join us?
I have a Mark Duvall,
Yes, ma'am.
and there's a Danielle Matsker.
Yes, I believe that would be Brian, the gentleman that will be building the deck.
Okay, they haven't raised their hand. If they would raise their hand, I can bring them into the meeting. Oh, well, maybe not. Or maybe they just want to listen.
He has not, he said he would be here and he's not acknowledging a text. So.
Oh, wait, just raised a hand. Hold on.
Okay, great.
Can you see me?
I don't see anybody. I have Mark on, and I have Danielle on. I don't have any images, but can you guys both speak so I can see that you're able to?
Hi guys. Yep, Mark is here.
Okay. What about Danielle?
I'm Brian.
Brian. Okay, comes up as Danielle. There you go.
Okay, welcome, Mark.
Hi guys. How are you?
Good, good. So I think there's a few questions. Preliminary covered deck that you're building in the backyard. There were some questions about materials and the drawings. The line, is it going to be hipped? Is it going to be gabled? Some of those questions were probably sent along.
Yes, they were. I forwarded those on to Brian. So Brian hopefully took a look at those and was able to talk on some of your questions.
Okay. So let's start with the roof. Is it going to be a hip roof or an open-end gable?
It's going to be an open-end gable.
Okay. I wasn't quite sure what the pitch was going to be. It was drawn fairly steep, but there were a lot of pitches noted on the elevation.
Yeah,
No, those pictures, I was looking at that too. Those are just the details of what he just numbered. And if you look above that, the numbers tell you what, like, it's metal or I think it's.
I understand that.
Yeah.
When I first saw that, I'm like, is it 3, 4, 5, or okay? No,
Yeah.
Because it's sequential, it confused me. So it's a 6/12 pitch.
Yeah.
Drawn correctly. All right. Gotcha. That's my.
About your question on the house connection too. I don't know why he put that on there. It's not connected. It'll be freestanding.
It'll be 10 feet from, that would be the northwest corner. So it'll be 10 feet from the northwest corner of the house there.
Mm.
And could you actually just, since there's no grade line shown on these drawings, exactly how far above grade is your finished floor going to be?
It'll be about 14 inches.
Right.
And what will the location of your steps be?
We'll probably put them on the front side. It'll just be one step, basically.
Okay, and then you've got some railing details shown. Are those in the project or no?
No, they're not.
So there's no railing.
No.
Okay.
If you have open in, or if you've got the gable roof line, what will the finish be around the gable? Is it open or do you have siding there?
Yeah, no. We've talked, and I've talked with Mark, and they decided they probably leave it just open, just for light.
And then what is your intended finish on those members, on the structural members that will be exposed?
It'd just be a 6x6 beam holding the ridge beam in the middle.
And then are you planning to have any fascia boards or what? Yeah, I'm just looking for a little more information about what the actual finished project will look like. You know, is there going to be fascias? What is the actual look of like the skirt board and that sort of thing? Because we just have basically some really rough construction drawings here,
Yeah.
and not really so much anything that's showing us about what the actual finished project will look like, which is what we're here to take a look at.
So it'll be a treated, pressure treated deck with what we wrap with is to close in the decking itself. We use usually a double 5/4 board doubled up on the side, so it covers your carriage bolts and things to that nature. And then we'll up top on the roof we'll have the metal that'll be come down your eaves and cover that. And then they'll just be staining the deck itself and things.
It's just a pretty direct utilitarian structure.
Yes, sir. We're going for simplicity.
That's fine.
So, along the lines of how this is going to finish out, you know, I was just reading through the notes, and it said 6x6 treated posts. Are you just going to leave those exposed?
Yes, for now. Yes.
And the rafters are going to just be exposed.
Yellow pine.
Yellow pine, along with the ridge pole support.
Yes.
And then, so this talk about dressing up the skirt board, I'm not sure exactly if I followed what you were saying. It's like, so you're going to wrap the whole deck
Yes.
fascia with a 5/4, or what is it going to be?
It's doubled up. It's doubled up so it covers the deck. So you got 11 inches. So it covers the decking and it covers the 2x10 band boards.
But what's the material? Is it also treated lumber?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, okay, I get it now. And I think you're putting a metal roof on it, so you're gonna have a drip edge, and that's it.
Yeah.
There's nothing on the fascia. The fascia is gonna be exposed treated wood.
Yes.
Simple.
Yep.
All right. Any more questions from board members or concerns?
I just have a concern that the look of this is just going to look unfinished. I just feel like there's not enough. I mean, if it's all just pressure treated wood, I just worry about the finished look of that not looking like a finished product, I guess.
I mean, it's in the backyard. There's lots of trees. We do have lots of trees back there. And we just kind of wanted as simple as possible. I'll stain it, I'll keep the staining up. But yes, we wanted a covered step-up deck in the backyard to do our barbecuing and hang out and have the dog run around.
The standing seam, is that what you're going to use for the roof?
Yes.
Is there any of that on the existing house? We have a kind of a.
No, I think it's.
Okay. I was just curious.
I don't have any problem with it. It's a freestanding structure. Utilitarian in their approach, economical. I think the fact that it's freestanding and not attached to the house kind of gives them whatever latitude they do a different roofing material. So
Yeah, I had the same thought, Ken. It's got a wood fence in the backyard. It's kind of part of the context. To me, when you're building a wooden structure in the woods, it all becomes about long-term maintenance. And it seems that pressure treated wood is going to gray out at some point, just like every other wood will. But really, if you stain it, that's long-term maintenance. So.
And I had a deck put on my old house in Southampton, and I know how to stain it and keep it up and treat it. And so.
Yeah, I mean, if it's stained and it's a stain that all a consistent color, the color that you like, and it'll look like a piece of, like it belongs in the backyard, and maybe it doesn't relate to the house, but I personally don't have a problem with it.
and it's treated wood, so you have to give it a year to cure before you try and put any stain on it. So.
Yes, sir.
Even if if you're doing the double ledger board, usually you recess one into the column, you ledger it in. I mean, if you even expose the carriage bolts, that might be aesthetically pleasing. Who knows? You got to cover them up. But I'm good to approve this. So.
Yeah, personally, from what I'm understanding of the design intent, I think that it sounds okay, but for me personally, and for longer term, when you get into construction, I would like to see a resubmittal of the documents just for clarification, indicating all of these things that we've discussed today. That we will have an open gable end condition, and what will actually be exposed, and show a plan that locates your step, and clean up the submittal if it's not attached to the house. We omit those details. If there is no railing, omit those details. I just think that we need a cleaner submittal for true understanding of what you are going to build, and that will be in your project's interest in the long run.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it is a preliminary submittal, so there is some information that's missing. So I think what Carol's comments are, she has a fair comment, but I think the general aesthetic, it seems like, not everyone agrees with what's being presented, but.
Yeah, just show the grade line, give us an idea of what the actual finished appearance is going to be, and include that in your notes, and take the irrelevant stuff out of the submittal. I think that would be the best approach, and for clear understanding when the city receives the actual plans, they'll have a clearer understanding of what was agreed on tonight.
Okay.
I have a question. You know, the context photo that I got, you know, it's kind of black and white. What, you have an existing deck. What does that look like in real life?
So you walk out the back of our kitchen, and it is probably, I don't know, a 6
No,
by.
No,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I should have clarified the material. What's it made out of?
I would assume it's treated wood. It's not
Okay.
It's not composite.
Yeah, it might be good if you submit a colored picture of that with your submittal when you resubmit it. That would help me because, you know, you might want them to relate.
Well, I'll be staining that. It's a blue color. I don't like the color, so. Yeah.
Okay. But your plan is for those to be kind of look the same.
Yes, sir. Whatever we stain the new step up deck, and I'll stain the one that's off the back of the kitchen. Yeah, it'll be the same.
Okay. Sorry, I just saw that. And so with that, you know, that's, I think Carol, to Carol's comment she made a minute ago, I think just to clean these drawings up and clarify some of those points. And I would request that you do put a picture of that deck in there for context. That does help us. So that way, when it comes back through, you know, there's no question. There might be some additional discussion, but
Can you clarify what you mean by additional discussion, just so we can?
Well, what I mean is, without seeing your deck, there might be something on there that helps you with your new deck. You might want it to match. I don't see your deck, so there might be something there without seeing it. I don't know.
Okay.
All right. So with
All
that.
right. So when do we, if we want to get for the next meeting, we need to resubmit by?
Right, so this is Kelly Campbell with the city. If you get me revisions by end of day Tuesday of next week, we should be able to get you onto the next agenda quite easily.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
All right. You're
You
welcome.
too.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Night.
Bye.
And with that, Kelly,
Yeah, that's it. We're
we are adjourned then officially.
adjourned. All right, thank you all for your time and patience, and have a great week.
Yep.
You too.
All right.
You too.
Bye,
Thanks.
guys.
See y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Did he say his deck was blue?
Just go over.